Welcome back, Mortgage Ballers. This is Rich Hanlin. Today I have Mike Neff with me. He's Mike. Where am I talking to you from? Where are you out of?
Just outside of Denver, Colorado, Lakewood, Colorado.
Another Colorado. I think I've interviewed more people from Colorado in the last 2 weeks, and just something going on there. I mean, obviously you get that, was it 300 plus days a year of sun? Colorado, believe it or not, is our second biggest market. We have California, Colorado, then Texas, then Washington. But the incredible part about Colorado is we have 1/3 the originators that live there, but they do that much business compared to California that has like over 450 people living there. But by pure numbers, but when you look at the average funded loans per month versus how many licensees live there, it's probably our highest ratio. So something's going on in Colorado, either a lot of transplants, a lot of growth. And I got people live all over the state of Colorado. It's not just Colorado Springs. It's not just Boulder. In those big cities, I got a lot of people in Denver. And Denver, there's South Denver. Denver's a big place. I didn't realize how big it was. How long you been there? How long you been in Colorado?
I grew up here.
Okay, born and raised.
Born and raised. Yeah, I spent some time elsewhere in the interim, but I always wanted to come back here to have a family, and that's what I'm doing now. But
Right on. Congratulations. I like it.
Yeah.
If you had to take all the time that you've been in lending, the lending world, in any capacity, how long you been in the lending side of the business?
I've been licensed since 2020, since the end of 2020.
All right. So you came in during the pandemic.
Yes.
A lot of people came in during that time. They're like, wow, this is cool. It's fast. It also was some record breaking times. Even for my last company, so far, we hit 850 deals a month. We haven't done that yet at Xpert. I think our highest here was 750. So we're not quite there yet, but that was at the peak of 2020 and 21. We hit those a few months in a row. Matter of fact, that company got to be number 4 in the nation because of that volume. But I expect this company with 44 states, what I find in an average market when rates are doable for purchases and or refis, which we're not far off of there. Most loan officers have a 4-to-1 ratio. So if I've got 600 originators, we're doing 2,400 deals a month. Now that could be someone doing 30 and one person doing 1, but on average, I just shared with you that 80% of the loans are being done by 20%, but when rates are normalized, it's about, it's not longer the 20%. You'll see that middle really scoot up because they get loans, but now it gets a little bit easier for them because they're fighting right in the middle of that. Someone who only does 1 loan a month or 1 loan a year. 1 loan a month right now is actually pretty good. 1 loan a quarter, 1 loan a year. It takes a lot they have to go 100% just to get to 2, but someone who does 4 deals a month, they only have to go 20% more to get to 5. So I start playing those percentages when I roll stuff out, but that's kind of how my mind thinks on the back end when I see the numbers and stuff like that. In lending, I'm not sure if you specialize purchases, refis, anything that walks in your door, but what's the favorite part about what you do? What makes you want to do the lending business of all the things you can do, but yet here you are doing this?
Really, it's the relationships.
Okay.
To me, it's guiding the client through the journey.
All right.
So I don't mind being asked a million questions. I don't mind hand holding. I want to make the experience really seamless for the client. And, I think that's pretty universal in sales, just making the client feel taken care of. And that's very gratifying. And that's obviously what earns me repeat business and referrals. So, but being known as a person who, as a LO that takes the time to explain the concepts and make them feel taken care of, that's my brand.
What I love is what I have found over the years, you have people that almost are like coaches, they're nurturing, they handhold, and even people in their second and third transactions and refinances, it's still their biggest financial venture for most people. And having that approach I've seen it, I do the same approach. I've seen people just make it transactional. I'm going to do it one time and I'm never going to do it again. I'm like, that's great. I've done 40 deals for the same family since I started in 1991. I have a core set of people that have now grown their families, and there's a built-in trust, and I take very good care of them. They can ask me questions, what's really going on, Rich? And sometimes I'm not the best option, and I'll tell them that too. Hey, I heard that credit union down the street's doing this. You might want to check it out because it might be short-lived. But my number one thing is blue collar workers. That's how I grew up. I grew up with nothing, and a couple $100 a month to my mom, that was huge. I save a guy who's a millionaire $1,000, and he'll leave me tomorrow if he can save $1,001. Like, there's no camaraderie there. It's just not a big deal. But man, when I can change people's lives, and I've had a lady cry. I'm not kidding you. I had a person, we saved $100, and I told her, I'm only gonna save 100. Like, I don't know that I could do this alone. She's like, I don't think you understand. That $100 is gonna make or break. That's food on my table. And I was like, okay, you don't know until you actually have those conversations just how important it is. Oh, I'm only going to save her $200. I'm not even going to spend the time. She'll never go for it. It's like, you don't know what that $200 could be huge to them. Here's a question for you. Are you part of a team, or are you doing it all by yourself, or how are you doing it, Mike?
Yep, solo.
100% solo. Okay. Are you using a DBA or are you using Xpert's brand?
DBA.
What's your DBA?
Homegrown lending.
Homegrown lending. I like it. I like it. If people don't understand what he's talking about, Xpert Home Lending, if it's legal for the state that you're in and it's not used, we allow people to use DBAs. We have about 60 of them because, hey, not everybody wants to build the Xpert brand. They want to build their own brand, because what if Mike wanted to go out on his own or switch? He can still take the brand with him, and his leads are his leads. His borrowers are his borrowers. And that's, from one originator to another, that's the way it's supposed to be. They're not my clients. They trusted you. So I like that. How'd you come up with that name?
I was kicking around a few names. that one's kind of been in the back of my mind. And of course, I took my list of 3 or 4 to my wife, and she's like, homegrown, that's it. And there was already somebody in my market or had been someone in my market that did homegrown loans, and they went out of business a few years ago. But she said, how about homegrown lending? It has a nice cadence. And I was like, great, I love it. So just kind of building off that. Word association, homegrown, local. I'm from here. I know the market really well. It's very important to me to reiterate that community connection, looking for those long-term relationships. I want to be your broker. Like you said, I want to be your broker for 40 years. I want to help you. I want to help you. I want to help your uncle and your cousin and your grandkids. And, I want to be your broker, and I want to do right by you, establish that trust, in the long game, and as you know, so many in this business are in the short game.
Yeah, they
And
are.
they don't care once the deal closes. They don't care if they ever hear from you again. And they'll take advantage of that fact, and I really try and operate from the other side and be like, well, okay, you wanted to grind me on price and they beat me on price, and you went with them, and you realize they did something shady, or, the loan estimate, maybe looked really good at the moment, but by the time you got to closing, a bunch of fees were added on there that I wasn't charging you, whatever. I'm here for you now, and, this is the way I operate. I don't want to try and go bottom dollar on price all the time, but also my time is worth money too, and I want to make sure that you get the service. I want you to pay for the service. I want you to be paying for the relationship, and me looking out for you, and, texting you down the line, hey, how's the house going? Is everything good? Um, let me know when you're ready for refi, whatever it is. I want that first name basis relationship, because that's what's going to come back to me in spades. The business is going to come back in spades. So
that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
Now, have you always been on the broker side, or have you ever been on the direct lender side?
Always been a broker. Yeah. I started out with a very small brokerage, just myself and the principal. So I was the only broker on that team. And that's kind of what coached me into the business, which was great because I had that kind of direct support. But I've always been independent, and I like that vibe better, works better for my schedule.
How'd you hear about Xpert?
So my second cousin, Jennifer Case, is an LO for you guys. She's actually for Greenlight, but everyone seems to know her at Xpert. I'm going to work for you. And we've been chatting over the last few years once we found out we were both in the business, and, at family functions and stuff. And she's wonderful. She's a wonderful person. She's always like, hey, you should check out Xpert. You should, kept dropping hints. And then I found, I was ready to switch brokerages at the end of last year. And I said, let's do it. And that's how I made the switch. And I talked talked with you guys, and I was like, oh, this seems like a really good program. Tons of support. I love the independence. I love the correspondent side of things is awesome. Even though I haven't closed any deals there yet, but I have the pipeline's thickening up this time of year, so that's things are looking good. But I was just like, oh yeah, this is perfect for me. This is exactly the kind of place I want to be in. Good balance seems like really good balance, and yeah, good place to be. So Jennifer, thank you. That's
No, I like it.
short answer.
Greenlight's a good. That's more of a team concept. That's a good team.
Sure, sure.
We got quite a few teams up in Colorado, and that they're always
Yeah.
showing off because they're going out to dinner and stuff like that. I'm like, they never invite me, but it's like it's okay. I want to know when you're not doing loans. You've touched on it a little bit. That you actually have a family and a wife. When you're not doing loans, when you're not in loan mode, when you're not trying to get more conversations for loans, who is Mike Neff outside the loan business? What kind of hobbies do you have? What things do you like to do?
I'm a musician. I have a
Right
band.
on.
Play gigs with other dad
What kind of
rock
music?
bands. It's like rock and roll, kind of Americana rock and roll stuff.
Are you lead singer?
Uh, I am, yeah. Do I have
I
lead singer
love.
energy? Yeah, I write all the songs and play guitar and sing. It's something I've been doing for a long time. It was always, my passion, even going back to being a teenager, playing in bands, touring the country, put out, I think I have 9 full length recordings under my belt at this point.
Okay, this is a little more than a hobby, I would think. It
Yeah,
sounds
I
like
mean,
you know what you're doing there.
a little bit. I don't know. It's just something I've always done and something that's really close to my heart. So it's slowed down these days. We're all dads with jobs, so
Right.
it's like we
Hey,
play
maybe
tour.
that's a good name of a band, Dads with Jobs. I don't
Yeah,
know.
totally. So we do 2 or 3 gigs a year, but it's still fun. We still record music and sell it, and so yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. And then other than that, love to be outdoors, hiking, biking, skiing when I can. Uh, Getting my kid on skis, this year, and that's been super fun. But yeah, those are the main things.
Here's a question for you. Did you take official lessons to learn, or did you self-teach yourself how to play an instrument?
At the very beginning, I did take lessons. I think for a couple of years, I started playing when I was 13. So I took lessons for a couple of years until I can had enough of a basis that I could just kind of listen to recordings and figure them out. And then once I could do that, I was kind of off to the races, And then from that, starting to write my own music came really easily once I kind of understood chord structures and melody, and by the time I was 15, I had my own band.
Wow, that's crazy. It's
Mhm.
cool. You probably were the
Yeah.
cool guy at school. I get it. Oh, he's in a band. I
Yeah,
like it.
kind of like that cool nerdy, kind of divide, but yeah, no, it was always super fun, and provided this kind of whole other community to grow up in, um, which was great, and I still, am friends with and talk to some of those people that I played with 20 years ago, 25 years ago. That's actually like a really good built-in network for mortgage. There's all these people that I know and trust, and from that community, from music community and artistic community here in Colorado. So,
I think we're
um,
gonna have some fun with you
yeah,
because we'll do 2 events in Colorado this year. We usually do a Denver side and a Boulder side. It's
great.
usually South Denver and then Boulder, but maybe we'll hire your band to play a few songs for us. We'll keep it in the family and make it a good
That'd be cool.
time.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to our last record. I'll email you a link and you can check it out. But
Hey, give
it's
it to me. I'd love to put it on. I'll put it into the video as
nice.
well.
Yeah,
Um, that way, people are like, I want to hear this guy. What? Just click on it and go for it. I like it.
totally.
I
Love it.
learned something every day about the
Yeah,
people that are here. That is
totally.
so awesome and incredible.
Cool. Love that.
Gosh, man, I don't know if I can top that one. That's pretty good. All right, you're in a tough market. Number one, the average cost of homes in Colorado has really grown over the last few years. You got a lot of implants coming in. You got the people that are born and raised there. Um, in your market, what do you find? I mean, what's the average cost to get into a home in the people you're talking in the areas that you tend to help people in?
I mean, starter home is right around 450, 500,000.
Half million
Uh,
dollars. Wow.
Half million is kind of, the
We say
buy-in.
that so easily nowadays.
It's crazy. I know. It's really just, it blows my mind. But that's what it is. And, people are still buying at that price. Definitely pricing has leveled out here a little bit, um, but there's still plenty of demand. So, it's kind of shifted to a buyer's market. And I think people have kind of finally wrapped their heads around 7-ish% rates. So, kind of those that were being cautious and waiting for rates to go down are finally like, they might not be going down. So I guess we're just going to jump in. And so, my realtor network, that's kind of what I'm hearing still. They're like, well, we're still, people are still buying, and it's not 2022, but it's not bad either. It's not dead, flat dead. It's just kind of different market. And like you said, a lot of people
Market.
who got into the business in 20, a lot of those who got into the business on the realtor side and the mortgage side have washed out. So the opportunities there for those of us that are left. I find a lot of the competing quotes are coming from the retail side and coming from the real aggressive trigger loan kind of
Hmm.
side. And that's where I figure I can stand out is, well, I'm a person that you can meet with face to face. I'm from here, my family's here.
That's a good
you
way to do
know
it.
yeah, and that I feel like that connection's missing in so many transactions now. Yeah, sure, you can go retail side, or write your own loan at Rocket or whatever. But like, honestly, at the end of the day, like, you want a professional supervising this transaction, right? Helping you on your side, right? Not trying to just squeeze every dollar out of you, but actually genuinely trying to help. So that's my angle. That's my pitch totally when I'm meeting prospective new clients. Um, you can call me night and day. You can text me night and day. I'm happy to walk you through stuff. I'm happy to run scenarios. I want to be your broker forever, and I know that's not practical for every deal, but hey,
No, but
if
that
someone's,
mentality pays off in certain
yeah,
percentages for sure.
for sure. And that's it. And that's it. I'm like, I'm always looking towards just building my book. And, even if you're not ready to buy now, hey, when you are ready to buy, I chat people up on the chairlifts at ski areas all the time, carry cards with me while I'm skiing. Hey, when you're ready, I talk to people all the time. They're like, oh yeah, I'm a grocery, warehouse manager, and I keep wanting to buy in. And I'm like, there's options you should know about, like, even if you're just going to buy a condo for now, hey, it's better than flushing money down on rent. Or people that are like, older people, hey, I always dreamed about having a second home. I never thought I could afford it. I'm like, call me. Let's talk about it. Let's, can't tell you how many deals I flipped that were just like people like that. We're not rich. I'm like, you never know. Let's take a look at it. Let's see what we can find. Let's find some alternative avenues for funding. Are you willing to, rent your place out when you're not there? There's deals to be made just by talking to people. Mortgage is just one of those things that's complex enough that most people don't understand really the intricacies of it.
Yeah. No,
So
I have some
I'm
people
always
that
happy.
have figured out, um, if they're in Colorado, maybe they have a place down in Florida or in Virginia, somewhere where it might be warmer, Hilton Head or something, or maybe in California or whatever. But they figured out like, okay, a second home, but I can't rent that out. It's like, okay, well, you're almost getting the same rate as on that second home as you are DSCR or investment property in this market. How about we look at it, we get it, set it up as an Airbnb, and you can rent it up to 4 weeks a year from yourself. Because let's be
Hmm.
honest, I mean, unless you're going to be there 6 months out of the year, or you just looking to vacation a couple times a year, but you could also have it making income for you, and you could use the equity from here to accomplish this. And these are just different thought processes that they're just not used to having these
Right.
conversations, but people are doing it right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, if you can guide someone through the intricacies and let them think of, avenues to get what they want that they didn't originally think of. People think of this, oh, I have to have a huge wad of cash in the bank, liquid, ready to go. And it's like, well, no, you can, take out a HELOC, access some of your equity, in your primary. There's ways to do, like you said, DSCR, like, come at it from that aspect and say, hey, look, these Airbnbs are really profitable. If you can pay your mortgage and have a vacation property 4 month, 4 weeks a year, and clear some profit off it, seems like a win-win. It seems like all you're missing is seems like all you're missing is the motivation to get there. So I'm going to help you with that. You'd be like, okay, well, I know a realtor in that area. Let me just, he's going to send you some listings and see if there's anything you like, and just making those connections. Obviously,
And your
like
realtors love that, by
that's
the way, when you introduce them into
yeah,
a transaction, because
totally.
nobody ever gives them the referrals. They always give you the referrals.
Right. But I that's how I know that I found a realtor that I really want to work with. Is like, hey, you know what? If I'm your go-to and you talk me up and you send me some deals, I'm gonna send you some deals. Because people hit me up for realtor referrals all the time. It's harder to find a good realtor than you'd think. And there's so many flaky realtors, as you know. So,
Well, yeah, but
I'm
we have
always
over 400,000. When you entered the market, we had 423,000 licensees. We're down to 93,000 active licensees as of 2025. Less than 28% of all realtors licensed last year did at least one deal.
Mhm.
Their competition, there's two types of competition. Directly, there's still a lot of homeowners, still a lot of people trying to find home ownership. There's less people to do those transactions. Um, Less realtors out there to assist you. But the truth is, people are like, well, it seems like people are busy. Well, that tells me you probably understand that 20% of the licensees do 80% of the total business.
Mhm.
So if somebody seems busy, you might want to pay attention to that because they're doing something right.
Right.
Someone who's doing one deal a year, I would challenge you, is doing something, either they're treating it like a part time job, which
Mhm.
sometimes that's all it is. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but you're definitely not treating it like a full time job. And it's your job. You're the owner of your business. Like you've got your name out there as a DBA doing business under it. You don't want to be scraping the bottom of the barrel. The goal is to figure out what is that mindset and balance of your life that will get you to, and this is an industry, I get it. 2 or 3 deals a month can be life changing to people because the average cost. So the goal is to get people to 2 or 3 because I want people to be in the life changing mode. And I also know this, Mike, that once you start seeing an average of a couple deals a month, your stress level goes way down. And when your stress level's down, your sales techniques are way up because you're not like, oh my gosh, if I don't get this deal, when you're loose, you can actually turn down business. Yeah, I'm not going to go down that route. Let me keep going over here. But you're inventive, you're flowing. And I find I do my best work when I don't have a lot of time to think about it. I just have to trust my instincts. It's like, oh, I got another one. I got another. I got to call. People are, when I say call, people are calling me, asking me questions. I don't have a lot of time to think
Mhm.
about it. So it's like, cool. Now I challenge people, try and stump me. Tell me your craziest thing. And I will tell you this. With 620 plus loan originators, if you look at our Facebook group, I'm amazed at some of the transactions that they're asking about. I'm like, okay, there's some interesting things out there that people are trying to buy and or do half commercial, half residential.
Mhm.
It's now I need a commercial loan, but yet they have gas on the property. You're like, wow, okay. Colorado, are they growing marijuana on the property? In another state, it's a Bible Belt state. Georgia doesn't want to hear that word, but yet certain states it's there. So just interesting. The market is always interesting. Every state is a little different, but what I
Right.
love is my interest rates are the same for all states.
Mhm.
It's not like California gets a special rate and Maine gets another one. It's like they're all the same. So the economy is the same, the rates are the same. I think the biggest thing is people transplanting and not being afraid to make a change. So many people feel stuck. Like, oh, I'm born and raised here. I'm never going to leave. Well,
Mhm.
that's great, but not everybody feels that way. And now your people are flowing into your state from states that are just one or two over. We won't name those states, but
Mhm.
there's 7 states that people have flowed into in the last couple of years, and yours is obviously one of them. Your state, just so you know, Mike, is one of the best states. I feel out of all states, it's the most makes sense state to do business in. Unless you're hurting people and purposely, they leave you alone. They say, go make a business. Their fees are some of the most inexpensive. Um, and it's just a testament to the state that you live in because the people, when I talk to them as well, the people who live there, the people that are loan officers, they kind of mimic that same thought process. Overall it seems like it's a very happy state. And I'm not even a snowbird. And I'm like, well, but what about the snow? They're like, Rich, the snow's not here all the time, depending on where you live. So
It's 66 and sunny all week here. Like, So
Which a
you
mile
know,
high, that's actually pretty good.
I mean, it's delightful. You're out, the sun's out and beautiful, and I mean that's what people don't realize about Colorado. They hear Colorado and they think skiing, snow, but Denver is more like a desert, really, than like
Yeah.
a,
Yeah, it
you
is.
know,
High plains.
alpine. It's a desert. High plains, lots of sun. The quality of life obviously is really good here. The economy is really strong here. Yeah, there's a lot that attracts people here, and also the business climate's very friendly. Like
Yes,
you're
it is.
saying, there's kind of that libertarian
I
Western
like it.
kind of kind of mentality. That's kind of like go do your business. Don't step on toes, but we want economic activity here. And it's always kind
No,
of
I
been
agree
that.
with
It's
that.
always
That it's grown a lot.
yeah, and
I
it's
always
always kind
forget because I'm always in
yeah.
the same areas there from Colorado Springs up to Boulder. And I'm like, Colorado's a lot bigger than that. There's a
Oh,
lot
it's
more to
huge.
Colorado than just that part of it. I love it. I love it. I appreciate you sharing time with us today. Any advice that you could give to somebody, someone who's thinking about trying to come over to the broker side, or a borrower who's sitting on the fence trying to figure out, in closing out, what's some advice that you've seen based on your experience in your market that you could give to somebody that might see this and say, hey, I want to do a loan with that rock star, and I love his advice. What's your advice to people?
Um, if you have a dream, if you want to get something done, if you want to buy your first house, if you want to buy that second house, that vacation property, and you don't think that there's a way forward, talk to somebody like me. Talk to somebody who's willing to take the time to explore those avenues. A lot of people in this business just want to shoot you through the machine. They want to clean, uh, W-2 borrower with an 800 credit score, and they want to QM and they want to get their money and get out. And, really that leaves so much business on the table, when you're just trying to do those really clear-cut loans. A broker like myself, I will do the hard loans. I'll get in there and do the scrappy, investor loans that are more complicated portfolios. I'll do, whatever. And I don't mind taking the time to earn that, not just that loan, but earn that customer's business, not just for that loan, but going forward in the future. So, my advice to people is, hey, don't be afraid to ask, this is my business. My business is, the technical side of writing a loan is a tiny percentage of what my business is. My business is talking to you and making you feel comfortable, making you feel taken care of, like you're getting the best possible deal because I'm looking out for your interests. So if you can dream it, do it. And for a broker, and for another broker, I'd say the same thing. Like your reputation's all you have, really. So if it's worth it to you to burn your reputation to make, a quick buck and get out, well, that's to you. But really to me, like my reputation is my greatest asset. And the best thing I can do to build my reputation is to operate with transparency, integrity, and patience, and use, what my greatest asset is my wisdom in this business, my wisdom in this market, and to be like, hey, you know what? Um, I think this deal could be done this way. I think this deal can be done this way. I think, like you said, honestly, hey, Chase has better jumbo rates than me on this deal. Go check them out, like, and to be totally an advocate for them, to, like I said, not just earn that deal, but to earn their business in the future, earn their referrals. Hey, you know what? We got this loan from Chase, but the broker we were working with before Chase seems really good. You should go check him out. You're moving to town, want to buy a place. Go check him out first. That's how you build your book. Just
I
being
like it.
reliable. Yeah.
Well, you heard it right there, Mr. Mike Neff from, I want to say Denver, Colorado. Is specifically Denver because Denver's a big place.
We live in Lakewood, just west of Denver.
Lakewood. All right. And you heard it. He's a rock star. He's a man of many traits. He will sing you to a pre approval and he will give you a number one on the way out the door when you fund. A free guitar sign. No, I'm kidding. Um, I love it. I love it. I'm finding so much about our people. When you start to dig in, I want people to remember the rock star of you, not the I'm a loan officer. It's like the loan officer is something we do that I can do once I come to conversations with people. But I'm all about having conversations, and it sounds like you are too, and you're looking out for the best interests. I appreciate that. I appreciate all you do for Xpert Home Lending. I appreciate you partnering with Xpert Home Lending. And let's give it a shout out one more time. Is it Homegrown Lending?
Homegrown lending. Yep.
Homegrown Lending. That's his DBA for his company and his self-reflection that we allow under Xpert Home Lending, and we partner and come alongside those ideas. Just want to say thank you for your time today. Thanks for spending a little time before you get your day going. But there you have it, everybody. That is the end of this interview, and I want to say thank you, Mike, for all your time today. And like we always say on Mortgage Ballers when we close it out, stay thirsty, my friends.
Thanks, Rich.
All right, take care.
You too.